Hey, welcome. My name is Daniel, and this is Metal Sharpens Metal, the place where I analyze heavy music from a Christian worldview. Today, before we jump in, I just got to say, because this is criminal, I cannot find my Impulse album. I don't know where it went, like the actual CD. I have it on my iPod. Gives you a sense of how long ago I listened to music, how I did it like a grandpa. I had it even on my phone, and I don't normally put albums on my phone, but I put it on there because I just wanted to have it in multiple ways, I guess. But I don't know where the CD went. There's no way I bought it on iTunes because I was done doing that after I don't know, after I bought Invader Zim on there or something. It's been a while. I don't know where the CD went. I'm super frustrated. But to partly make up for it, I put up the Augment album as a sign of respect, I guess, because these two albums were amazing from this band. And as you saw in the title, we are going over the ERRA song The Architect today. These two albums, Impulse and Augment, both reshaped a lot of modern metal, a lot of metalcore and gent, like that kind of side of things. So yeah, there's a lot to love about them. I also probably will plan to go over a song from Augment in the future. So get your votes in early. Let me know in the comments what your favorite one is, and maybe that'll be the one I go over, because there's just a lot to love about these albums. So hope you enjoy the song today. Let's go check it out. Just jumps in. Got those little kind of synth notes in the background. This is such a cool opening to a song. Such triumphant chord progressions in this song. Getting a little darker, a little gentler. All right, at the end of this breakdown, I love this little turnaround. These little fills. So much happy rhythms. Going for that high note. They would just seamlessly throw in these crushing breakdowns with a sweet little bit of melody to latch onto over the top. Oh, just all over. Doesn't this chorus just make you feel like you can pull a tree out of the ground or plant a really big tree if you're into healing nature or whatever? They really started liking that kind of harp sound in the later songs. I hope you had as much fun with that as I did. You don't want to call it like candy metal, like super easy to latch onto and just rots your brain, rots your teeth. But it doesn't feel super healthy. What am I trying to define here? It's like, yes, I can tell that it's very sweet and very like bite-sized, but I don't feel like it's bad, but I do. I just like it a lot. And I know that. And I like the chugs. I like the melodies. I like the little runs, the little like the just the little fills. And they threw in so much of that. Today's song for me was a very hard pick. The whole album of Impulse has so much going right. Every song is really good. I find something to appreciate in every single one of them. No skips. If you liked that song, like in the slightest, you will find 6 other parts on this album that blow your mind. If you somehow haven't heard of these guys and you are watching my channel, there's probably a very narrow intersection of people who fit that category. But yeah, this album, it came out at just the right time, a time when people were kind of trying to define metal subgenres. And they were trying to be maybe a little bit rigid at times, and then certain bands would kind of cross the lines. I'm no metal historian. I'm not even a history historian. But when this album dropped, anybody who liked a band like As They Lay Dying or Misery Signals, they had to pay attention, because these guys were taking those very things and putting it up to the next level. I mean, yes, there were some people who doubted that they could play these parts live. Some people didn't like Jesse's really high register of singing.
The views expressed on this channel are not representative of the channel as a whole.
You right to jail.
But dang it, they would respect that Garrison's lows could be sometimes more brutal than like their favorite death metal band or something. Or they'd maybe appreciate a solo from Alan here and there. Like, they had some awesome stuff. It's a very special album. It's like they took their last EP, Andromeda, which is where we did the song Isolation Blue from, and they stood on the shoulders of that album. They had a 100-inch vertical jump off those shoulders to make Impulse. Does that metaphor even make sense? I'm not sure. Is 100 inches a really good vertical in the world of sports, or is it inhuman and impossible? Or is it something that like a baby could do? I don't know. He doesn't know either. But the point remains that this album is very good, and I'm appreciative that it happened and that I get to listen to it now. Special shout out goes to their producer for this album. His name is Brian Hood. I think his name was back then too. And I hope he's still doing great. But no idea where he came from. He just like appeared out in the country of Alabama, where they're from, and just made this amazing album at the time when it was kind of harder to get these good sounds from live instruments and stuff. So yeah, he captured some awesome stuff. So getting to the lyrical assessment and analysis. That's what I was trying to combine. Getting to the lyrical analysis now. When I look at Garrison's lyrics, I get the sense that he might have been raised Christian. They, like I said, they're from the South. In America, very common to be Christian down there, of course. There are references to spirituality and divinity and things like that that seem like they kind of fit a Christian narrative, a Christian theme. But I get this sense that he kind of started mixing in some new age pantheistic nature worship type stuff. I'm not trying to put words in his mouth. I get that they had a lot of mythology that they alluded to, such as their name ERRA is from some myth, and then Marduk is like a Babylonian god, and that's in their song 7 on this album. I get that there's like, references that probably just sounded heavy and cool. And it does sound heavy and cool. But I think that he put in enough references to these spiritual realities and ideas of souls and what nature means and all this stuff, that his main worldview is probably mostly contained within his lyrics. So yeah, I think we have a good sense of where to start. So in this song, he seems to be referring to this machine as himself, his body, and he's forcing it in a certain direction, withhold the new direction. And he wants to self-actualize and kind of move beyond his corrupted life.
I am dead inside.
As a Christian, this totally resonates with me. Even those of us who are saved and following Jesus are still dealing with the old man, with the old flesh and this body of death that we are in. Ephesians 4:17 through 24 sums this up really well in a similar sounding way, and talks about putting off the old self and getting rid of its deceitful desires, things like that. So if these were the only lyrics that I had read of Garrison's, I'd probably guess that he was a Christian. This sounds like a Christian struggling against their sin and wanting to get rid of it. He even refers to a collaboration between this being and the architect's reflection, which kind of sounds like the image of God to me. Then we have this interesting line, the Creator has found a fracture derived from the point of inception, its origin so deeply rooted. And that sounds like the Christian doctrine of original sin, though it is odd that he says that the Creator found the fracture derived, as if it was like something that he didn't know was there. He was surprised to find it. He didn't expect to see it. Garrison also says, I must disengage the imperfection and begin again. And that sounds pretty self-reliant, pretty much like he's doing his best to get rid of his sin all by himself. Now, there is a concept in the Bible where we work out our salvation with fear and trembling. We do it alongside God. We are called to work. We are called to personal holiness as Christians, even though we've been saved from the law, from sin and death. In 99% of religions, this concept of disengaging our imperfection and beginning again holds true. That is, we have to disengage from our wicked ways. We have to take up righteous ways and hold fast and prove ourselves to our God. We have to show him that we are following his law. And then if we do good enough, he'll say, okay, you have, removed as much imperfection as you can. I will either save you the rest of the way, or I will say that, you did a good job, good and faithful servant, let's go to heaven. But in Christianity, it's admitted from the very beginning that this is an impossible task. No one can do everything that God commands perfectly, and anyone who fails at one part of the law, the Bible says he has failed at the entire law. So we all stand condemned. No one can do all of God's commands perfectly, and no one can remove their stained clothes without getting even dirtier in the process. So in the story of Christianity, the God of the Bible actually comes down from heaven to earth and takes on that burden for us. He's the one who takes away our sin, and then he is the one who architects us from the inside out. He doesn't just, kind of like angle us and reset us on the right path and say, go, good luck. He actually gives us this, new heart, this new desire to follow him. And actually now the capacity to do these good things, that actually only comes after he changes our hearts as well.
My stars, my heart nearly leapt out of my chest.
We will be constantly falling back on him for grace this whole time, constantly looking to Christ for help and being aided and convicted by the Holy Spirit within us. But yeah, we are not reconstructing ourselves. Like that is all of God. So thanks for joining me on another ERRA song. This is such a cool album. Like I keep saying, I don't know any other adjectives other than cool and interesting. But it is those two things, and it is all the other good adjectives too that you can think of. So put those adjectives that you like in front of this album. This is a magnificent album. There's one. This is a magical album. There's another M one. Let's get a third M word. This is a manifestly maple syrup album. I'm not even that hungry, but maple syrup's very good. Okay. Don't know where I'm going. But yes, if you have an idea on augment songs that you like to hear, let me know in the comments and I'll try to do one for the next review. Thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.